Okay, guys, so it's that time again. Signing up for the ephemera folder swap. This one will be fall related. It's going to be called Fanciful Fall ephemera folder and alter paperclip swap. So if you are interested, this is the sign up video. Of course, if I have a follow up video, I don't know if it's going to take me 2 videos to make this because I do have a lot of things I want to play with, and I want to obviously focus on making the folders. But my email will be in the description box along with any links of the things that I might use, and those would be affiliate links, which means I'll make a small commission if you purchase items to those links. But yeah, so my email will be there, and then I always take the email away once it gets full, and I let you guys know that it's full. Generally with the ephemera folder swap, I used to have like 40 people, then 50, then 60, and that just, it gets really big. So I think I'm going to cap it off at 50, which is a lot of people. But that means it'll stay open for a little while. I will leave the sign up open until Sunday. Having said that, I just realized I'm like, oh, it'll be open for a while, but no, Sunday, because I need you guys to start working on it. So today's Friday, October 14th. That means Sunday the 16th at midnight. No more sign-ups, but it seems like a lot of you guys are already rearing to go, so I'm sure it'll fill up before then anyway. And then you'll have until October 29th, which is a Saturday, to postmark it, meaning postmark that day. It needs to be postmarked by your post office, not dropped off in the evening on Saturday, so it doesn't actually get to until like Monday and all that. It needs to be sent out on Saturday. If your post office does not open on Saturdays, like if you're bringing it in, however it is that you want to package it and send it, obviously package it carefully. You don't want to get crushed or anything. Send it Friday. I am very much a stickler for the rules on the postmarking, because what happens is, and this always happens, is like everybody's comes in and I'm waiting for one or two. It's one thing when the post office is messing it up, right? They held on to it or did something, but it's a different thing when you're like, oh, I didn't send it. I send it after hours, or I send it the next day. Please do not send it the next day. I beg of you, and please do not ask me if you can send it the next day, because I do get that too. People, I'm so sorry. No, you don't, but can I still send it? No, I'm sorry. It's just the whole group is usually in and I'm waiting for one. And then what if the post office loses it or holds on to it? And now I'm waiting for, it just complicates things. So please postmark it by the day that is announced here, which is October 29th. So that's a full 2 weeks. The reason it's usually a faster turnaround time on the ephemera folders is because use your dies, use your pretty papers, I don't really think you need to go shopping. Like, I honestly have a lot of, pretty dies, and then I use my Cricut and, beautiful ribbons you have. Maybe you're going to stop in at a craft store, but it shouldn't take a lot of extra stuff. You know what I'm saying? So this is ephemera. A lot of it's very much paper related, die cuts, even die cuts that make like 3D objects. I know I've included like little bag ones before where if you fold it together, it makes like a little bag or whatever, but it's flat, right? So what happens with ephemera folder swaps, if you're not familiar with my swaps, as far as those, I was doing a lot of them, and then of course the summer came and I just didn't, even though I didn't last summer, I think. But anyway, I was making traveler notebooks, and those would have a little folder in there. And then when we would do the swap, people would put cute things in the folder. And then I was like, oh, maybe we should just start doing folder swaps too, which was a lot of fun because this kind of thing just develops, right, over time. Like I remember I used to do nail art swaps a long time ago, and it would be one-on-one with like me and another person. And we would always include glitter mixes to do like acrylic nails or put in your gel or just dip your nail in it, whatever it is. And then all of a sudden I was like, you know what? It's always the glitter mix that people were like the most like excited about, So I'm like, why don't we just stop swapping glitter mixes? So it would be like little 5 baggies of glitter mix. And then the other person would send 5 baggies, and then we would switch them out. I'd swap them out, send them back, and everybody would have 5 new glitter mixes, which is really fun. So now we can do that. Obviously, actually, we can do that with shaker mixes if we wanted to. That'd be fun. Because honestly, that was just in a flat envelope and it worked out. But anyway, so how much it costs to send an envelope, like 50 cents, whatever it is nowadays. That makes me laugh. It reminds me of that meme you see of that lady from, I think it's Arrested Development, and she's like, it's just a banana. What could it cost? $10? Like, she's so out of touch. Yeah, I haven't bought stamps in a long time because I bought Forever stamps, but whatever it is now, just like that, or maybe it, with the extra ounce or something. But anyway, that's something for another day we'll think about. But for this swap, we make 4 folders. I will show you in this video how to make the folders. I would love for you to follow that exactly, because when you're done, your folder needs to be 5 by 7. Do not make a smaller folder. Do not make a bigger folder. They need to be 5 by 7. So I will give you the numbers to make exactly a folder from nice cardstock, nice weight. Pattern cardstock, that would be preferable because that adds to the cuteness of your swap, It's really hard to make a really plain, just a color look really nice, unless you want to run it through an embossing folder, which I don't know if that would even work. But anyway, just something more, right? So you're going to make 4 of them, as much exactly the same as you can. I know a lot of times we don't have 4 of the same, paper that we're going to make the folder from, which I understand. And then, but what's inside really should be exactly the same. So we're making the 4 folders. They should not be thicker than 1/4 inch by the time you've loaded it up. The items that go inside, they needs to have 15 pieces of ephemera. And I just say 15 because that's just a nice number. It's not too little, not too much. And if you're cranking out, die cuts, maybe you're, cutting out 4 of this and 4 of that and 4. It's very easy. Again, lots of fun things you can put in there. I just have all those rules there, saying about the thickness you got to really pay attention to. Please send it in packaged nicely. I will send it back to you in a flat rate a small flat rate box. It just makes it easier. I know they don't weigh a lot. Well, it depends because sometimes they do weigh quite a bit. It's just easier for me to send them back to you, even with the postal rate change and all that. I can't possibly go and take everyone's swap and weigh it and see how much it is and then ask you to send. It's just not going to work. So the price of the small flat rate box now is $10.40, and please include that in cash in your swap. So don't PayPal, don't Zelle, don't send a check, just send the cash in with your swap. And if you're including one for me, please make sure that it clearly has my name on it, because the last time around, I don't know what happened, I sent a bunch of people the postage that other people sent me because it was in with the pocket or whatever. And not great. So then those people have to go out of their way to send it back to me, which is really kind. Thank you. But I don't want to give people more projects. So sometimes people send in 5 folders, right? 1 for me and then the 4 others. And it's not required to send me a folder, guys. It's very kind of you. Thank you. I appreciate it. I would love them, but you do not have to send me one. So 4 folders. You'll send in the 4 folders, and when we swap out, you'll get 4 back from people in your group. And I draw the group names at the end of the reveals. I do live reveals as they come in, not as they come in, but once they're pretty much all in, I start the reveals. And at the end of that, I pull 5 names. That is your group. Now, of course, there could be rule breakers within your group. I pull them out, so then the groups kind of might shift a little bit, but generally, it stays in the group that I have pulled. Or sometimes I'll pull 7 names, knowing that I already saw that quite a few people were, breaking some rules there or whatever. It just depends. But generally, the way it should work, I pull 5 names, and that's your group. And once you sign up, my email, like I said, is in the description box. You have until Sunday. I will reply with written guidelines. Now, these are basic bullet points like this. It's not anything super intricate, super, detailed, because all it is kind of for you to glance at it. Please read them. Please read them. I know a lot of people do not read them. So the reason I take time to write these up is to help you kind of keep in mind, remember what the bullet points are of what needs to be included. But the video has the bulk of the real detail, okay? And one swap, when I do one swap, doesn't mean it carries on to another swap, or oh, this was a rule here, but not the rule here. So I know with my little embellishment boxes, I had asked that you make 3 handmade items, 3 handmade embellishments or whatever. And if you make die cuts, that's great, but they had to be layered. And last time, a ton of people were just cranking out die cuts and they were just flat, 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 flat. That's not what we're looking for in the case swap. In this swap, definitely, if I have this, I'm going to run it through and it's flat, and that's fine, It's a different story, okay? They're just different. If you want to layer up die cuts, that's fine. You have something cute, like a little scarecrow or something in your fanciful fall, or some pumpkins or leaves that are, whatever, that's fine. But you do want to keep it thin, right? So that's another reason. We got to keep that in mind. So, number 1, basic guideline. The swap will be 4 fanciful folders filled with 15 pieces of ephemera, etc. The final dimensions of the folder will be 5 by 7, which we will discuss. You can make it however you like, but it has to have 2 functional pockets and be made of a higher than layering weight cardstock. I'm going to close out my email, or you guys are going to keep hearing email notifications. I'll be right back. We start working early in the morning. It's just emails coming in. So again, it has to be made with something that's higher than layering weight cardstock. Layering weight cardstock is kind of super thin, copy paper, So 65 pound, 85 pound is better. 110 pound even better, but that's sometimes hard to come by in pattern papers, isn't it? I never thought about acetate ones. Wouldn't that be cute? I don't know. Might be something to think about. Okay. And do not laminate them after mentioning acetate. That's fine. But the thing is, if you laminate them, it makes them bigger. And at the end, I usually do some kind of little tutorial to put your ephemera folders together. I haven't done one in a while, so it'll probably be like a traveler's notebook type of a holder this time again. So They have to be the same size. That's what the whole thing is. So that whenever your recipient gets it, they're all the same. They're obviously not going to be the same color or anything like that. It's, you know, whatever it is that you like to do, how you interpret Fanciful Fall. But they'll be the same size at least, right? And each folder must contain 15 pieces of ephemera or the like. And what I mean by or the like, you know, it can include die cuts, paper ephemera pieces, tags, usable ribbon, nice stickers. I mean, little, you know, glassine folders or pockets. I mean, it can include like a pack of pearls, anything that's like flat that is paper craft ephemera type, you know, embellishment related. Most of the time, it's mostly die cuts that people include because they're flat, right? But, you know, ribbon, like sometimes I'll include ribbon, so I'll probably do that this time, and I'll show you kind of how I work that. You guys know, I mean, if you've seen swaps before or anything like that, you know, you put your little ribbon on like a flat spool or just kind of layer it up in a way that you can put like a little paper clip and clip it to the inside or however, right? People have all kinds of ideas. Really cute. So, nothing too crazy out there, right? Nothing that's like, it can't be that bulky because it just won't work. So basically, you know, your die cuts and stuff like that. And I will show you what I'm including in mine. Sometimes I include more things later, but like this is the basic. So the basic is 15 items. You know, if you included 5 stickers and they're small and you want to add more, that's fine. The basic is 15. Most time people will send in more things, right, in each folder. And the folders will each be closed by a fanciful fall themed altered paperclip. So the size and design of the altered paperclip is totally up to you. However, please keep them relatively flat, decorated more than just paper, and meaning they should have at least 3 embellishment components like low profile flowers, flourishes, stickers, washi accents, rhinestone pearls, you know, stamping, etc. The paper itself does not count as an embellishment. And I say that because in the past I've had people just send in, you know, the altered paperclip where it's just like the paperclip with the paper that goes inside, the paper goes on the outside, and that's it, with the paperclip in the middle. And, you know, let's do more. But it does need to be a little flat. So I think I'll probably have a separate video on that because, to be honest, that takes me some time, and I'd rather have time to talk about it more. So we'll see how far we get today. It'll probably be 2 videos, just to not keep it too long. And that's it. So again, the folders and paper clips don't have to be the same because I know it's hard to make the same if you don't have the same papers, or even making a paper clip look exactly the same as the other, right? But just follow the Fanciful Fall theme, and then the ephemera included should be the same, okay? Or as close to the same as you can get it, right? And then a lot of times people really want to thank their swap partners, so if you can include a little card with your info, it might show up on the camera, so whatever info you're comfortable sharing, if it's just your email address or your home address or a mailing address, that's fine, or, you know, or just your name, just so they know that you created it. That's fine too, if you want. And I mean like just a little place card, not like a whole card. I mean, you can do whatever you like, but you got to remember that we are putting these in that small flat rate box, and they can't be too thick. So if you're adding a whole other card, that adds to the thickness, and it might be problematic. And then after all the swaps arrive, I'll do the live and showing them all to everybody, right? So again, please follow the guidelines. I don't want to take any participants out due to not following the rules. Sizing is super important, as is sticking to 15 of flat kind of items, and an altered paper clip for each folder. And that is that, guys. It's very easy. Again, I can probably pull a swap folder from before just to kind of show it to you guys. That's probably what I'll do because I need to grab my paper anyway. I'll come back with a folder just to kind of show you what that used to look like, and it's just fun. Like I said, dies that you have, you know, Cricut, whatever it is, you know, maybe some ribbon. Maybe you are going to go grab some ribbon if you want something more fall that, you know, you might have at home or whatever. Just ephemera pieces, that can be like, I don't know, there's all kinds of things that are considered ephemera, right? Little tickets and whatever you have. If you want to die cut words, you know, all that stuff, but at least 15 items. And generally people include more, but the basic is 15 items. And again, I'm really a stickler for those things because I do not say, oh, okay, you can join, but you can't join. I'm not seeing your YouTube videos. Do you have Instagram? I don't care about any of that. You just gotta, you know, use your best quality papers and items that you have at home, so you can make a really nice swap that when you know, comes in, people are like, oh yay, you know, because it's so much fun going through them, and it's awesome to see the attention to detail people put in it. And so I want everyone to have that same attention to detail when they send in their swaps. Okay, so just a really nice, again, best foot forward, best quality things that you have in your swap, and then meeting those basic guidelines. Okay, so let me grab some papers and we will get started with the folders. Okay guys, so I quickly jotted down, I should just find my old traveler's notebook where I have like all my measurements for things like this, but I just want to show you again. This is, I should have showed this right at the top. So this is basically an ephemera folder from last time around, and cute little hidden altered paper clip. And so in the next video, I'll show you how to make a hidden one, but some people like to do like a little banner. You know, if you want to do the little beads, that's okay. Just, again, the bulk. And honestly, these take up like the whole size of the box. So if you're going to put beads on it and I need 3 or more embellishments, then you're going to need to put like 3 beads. It's just, you know, I don't know. But if that's what you like to do, go ahead. You know, she has the layers and then the little envelope, little swirl, little gold heart, you know, the word dream, and then the little fiber, the ribbon on top, and then basically some gorgeous paper. Again, it looks so much nicer when you have beautiful pattern paper than just like a basic piece of paper, you know. And then this one actually, I had given rules that we needed 5 frames, 5 sentiments, and then 5 of like whatever else you would want to do. So this one has her frames, and I mean, obviously she created this herself. This is different from what I'm going to show you. And how cute are these pockets? Very fancy here, and then, you know, everything packaged up really nicely. And then here she has some sentiments, which I think I've used them. So there's there. And then just gorgeous, right? Everything coordinates, looks really pretty. So it's something like that. Okay, so thank you. Put that to the side there. Okay, so I just picked up this paper pack, and funny enough, I didn't realize it's double-sided, which is even better. I even went through it with you guys, didn't I? I don't remember seeing the backside having... I was going through a lot of stuff that day, so... meaning like items, not going through a lot of stuff like personally. So this is the Warm and Cozy stack, and I mean, how cute are the little apples. So let me see. Oh, that's pretty. So you know what? Maybe I'll use a couple of these because I do like the look of the little things. Are there 2 pages or 4 of each? Oh, there's, oh, ooh, I'm gonna have to keep one. So again, like I said, they don't all have to be exactly the same. This is really cute, but if I flip it inside out, because part of it needs to flip back for the folder, it's gonna be upside down on the inside. Maybe this one. Okay, so let's do one of that, one of this. So I'm just gonna go through and pick out all 4 of my papers for my folders, and I'll be right back. Papers. They don't all have foiling, but that's okay. And then, you know, a lot of times paper packs, and I would try and stick with paper pack. I think that's the best idea, but you know, they have things like this where I have cut apart, so I'll cut some of these apart and I'll include those also in the ephemera folder. Obviously they're not all going to be the same, but you know, just a little something from there. I did bring out this punch. Ooh, what is going on? They got yellowed. I haven't noticed that until right now. Look at that. Is so weird, right? It's in a spot where the sun's not even hitting it and it's like super uneven. How weird. Okay. I brought my punch because sometimes I do like to punch on my papers. So let me just get like this one. And basically we're going to cut our paper to 11 by 10 inches. And when we're done folding, it'll be a 5 by 7 folder. If I use the punching, it depends on how deep my punch goes and if I still want to keep like a 3-inch good size pocket, because we're going to score it at 3 inches or at 7 inches, depending how you want to see that on the 10-inch side. So I'm going to do 10.5 inches just to give myself a little bit more space to punch, because if I punch down on a 3-inch pocket, it's just going to be that much lower, and I do want my pocket to give me a little bit of room there. So I'm just going to take this. If you're not going to punch, I mean, you can still do it 10.5. It doesn't matter. You just have a little deeper pocket. Again, if you're creating your own pocket, just, you know, do your own thing. If your paper has a pattern that you need to pay attention to, we're cutting it 11 inches wide and 10 inches tall. So, and the height is the 10-inch side, but again, I'm doing 10.5 because I'm going to punch. So if you're not doing punching, or you can just follow my instructions anyway if you want to do 10.5. Just cut that off. And then in the other direction, I'm cutting at 11. Now, if you want to do 12, that's fine. Just leave the whole width, but you're going to have to take off, you're going to have to fold it in quite a bit. So when I do 11 inches, what happens is I do a 1/2 inch I don't know, a border or an edge on each side, a fold over tab, so to make it nice and sturdy on the edge. So you're gonna have to fold it over 1 inch on each side instead. But let's not get too confused. So 11 by 10 or 11 by 10.5. And oh, these scraps that I save here can help you make your hidden altar paper clips. So like all these little pieces, or maybe this side, you know, so I don't ever toss those out until I'm done, if even then. So there's the beginning of my folder, and I don't know what I've been doing with my what are these things called? My scoring tools. I have tons of them. But anyway, okay. So for this one, it's 10 by 11. So on this 11-inch side, I'm going to do the scoring first. And I don't know, I guess I'll score it on this side. It doesn't really matter. You're going to score on 1/2 inch on either side, so that would be a 1/2 inch. And again, nice weight paper. And at 10.5, right? So you need 1/2 inch on this side, so 10.5. And we're scoring it right down the middle, which when you have an 11-inch piece of paper, right down the middle is 5.5. It's super easy, guys. And on the other side, I'm going to punch this. So I'm going to score it at 3.5. Either way, I'm going to score at 3.5 because I need to leave the 7 inches up here, right? So I just want to make it clear because I'm punching, I'm scoring at 3.5. If you are leaving it 10 inches without the 10.5, then you would score at 3. Either way, it works out. You have 7 inches up here. Okay, so I'm scoring it right now at 3.5, so that when I do fold it, this last part is 7 inches. Or if you guys don't want to be like, oh, she's kind of wishy-washy, if you're doing 10.5 or 10, it's 3.5 or 3, just put it on this side, you know, being the top of your paper, like the direction, and score it at 7 inches. So then this part doesn't even matter. You don't even have to think about it. Everybody scores at 7 inches, okay? So everybody can score at 7 inches, or if you have it the other way, you need to pay attention. And then here, all I'm going to do is, we have, you know, it's going to fold down the center. I'm just going to punch it, though. So because I have the punch option, if you don't want to punch it or have a border die, which would be a really big machine, you're going to put that in. I don't even know if there's a machine this big. We're going to do it this way. So I always cut off this little extra tab. So when you scored, there's a score line here still. There's a little score line here, right, coming off that. And then scores all the way up. So I just remove this. Now you can punch first and then cut it off, or cut it off then punch, whatever. I'm cutting it and then I'll punch. Okay, just getting rid of that. And we'll do the same thing on this side, just going up the side, like right on that score line. And getting rid of that extra. Okay, so basically we make our folder, this folds up in. Okay, now, since I'm using my punch, I'm going to go ahead and get my punch. With these kind of punches, you always start in the center. If you start on one side, it's going to be perfect, and by the time you get to the other side, it probably looks weird, so it's better just to split the difference. Start in the center, or as center as you can be. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just kind of like in the middle. And then from there, you move out. And you can see it removed the whole 1/4 inch plus some. That's why I gave myself an extra 1/2 inch. And then you eyeball it with the little guide that's there. And you continue punching. I could have done that one a little better. Is that it? Oh, perfect. See how there's a little space there? That means I got 2. I didn't line it up perfectly. Right, that looks pretty good. And again, yep, here. And here. There we go. Okay. So now this is roughly 10 inches. Again, we always score it at 7 inches from the top, let's say. So now we have our pocket. And then the other thing I like to do, I'm going to go ahead and score it right down the center. I usually don't give it a good squish until we're done. But score that center line is, you need to cut this, because if you're just folding it up like this, it's going to be in the way. You see how it's already buckling and being weird, because that's just what happens. So you can just slit it down the middle. I like to do a little curve or something fun. But since I have my little, I don't know, I kind of like do something so it looks the same on both sides. I'm cutting at the same time. And then maybe like into here, I don't know. So that made a folder with like a little bit of a fancy cut. And I just eyeballed that, right? You can just cut straight up or divot out just a little bit though, so it fits nicer. Now we have this piece. So we score these guys over. So again, look at my little drawing here. This one, I pretended if it was 11 by 10. So we're scoring at 3 inches. You're scoring a 1/2 inch on either side and a 5.5 inch down the middle. Okay. So obviously this is the 10-inch, this is the 11-inch. If you're adding a little bit extra for punching, you know, take that into account. And then that's it. So we're just going to stick this down like this. And whenever I do that, I always like to just come in and basically cut this tab and then put a little divot in it like that. And do the same thing for the other side. Just cut there, a little divot so it looks like a peachy folder, really cute and finished. I also like to corner round these. So we'll talk about that in just a minute. You don't have to do that. I'm just going to put glue on the outer tab, right? On the outside of the tab here, and on the inside of the tab here. So, same thing on this side, glue on the top of this tab, underneath this tab, and glue that down. And I'll be right back. Guys, I think these are dry. So there it is, and then I'll fold it over. This is when I usually take the time to actually score it really well, just to make it a little more centered and everything. And then I like to corner round, so I'll take my corner round. I like the 1/2-inch side, but again, you don't have to corner round. Of course, that makes it so maybe some folders are corner round and some aren't, but hopefully you have a corner round if you like yours when you get them, your swap back, and you can corner round it. But I just like the look of that. Okay, having said that, I do have one thing I'm already going to pop in here. These cute stickers I had picked up at the Dollar Tree, and I don't think they will fit. That's the only thing, let me see, with the packaging. So if I slip them out, oh my goodness, how cute. I'm probably going to trim off a little bit of the top and a little bit of the bottom just so that they fit in here really nicely, but that works really well. But again, they already have some thickness to them, right? So you got to keep all that in mind. So it might be they don't make the cut, we'll see, but hopefully they will. But again, I'm going to cut them down so they fit in here really nicely. Okay, so, all right. We are going to start die cutting and stuff like that. And I just go to my stash, find different things. I know I wanted to use like some of this cuteness that was in this auto ship that I had not signed up for originally, but I basically bought them all from HSN, the die and press auto ships here. I was like, maybe I should include like a little envelope liner. You know what I'm saying? You can include all kinds of fun things. So maybe I'll include that as one of my ephemera pieces. There's some cute little sprigs and leaves in here. So let's say we did some of these guys. And again, I'm just going to run through pretty papers. Again, the best quality papers that you can share would be the way to go on that. I like the pumpkins, but we do have leaves over here. I just thought the pumpkins were really cute. Little like kind of these little foliage type things. Each one of these things can count as a die cut. That's okay. Obviously these are really small. I'm not going to count them as 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll probably put them in a little glassine envelope, but you know, it's up to you, right? But at least 15 things, okay? Even if they're small things, that have to count as 15. Now, if you're including like a little pack of like these stickers, I wouldn't say, well, there is, that's 15, all done. No, okay? So let's be generous and, you know, mindful of how we're doing that. And then I have this, the auto ship from Anna Griffin. I thought this would be really pretty. So, of course, I like to add gold and things like that in my any swap. So I'll probably do this frame. I don't know if I'm going to do the background part of it, but for sure the frame I'm going to cut out of gold paper. And we'll see. So I'm just going to start cutting fun things. Like you don't really have to see me sit here and cut, but when I come back, I'll show you some different things that I'm going to be including in mine. A righteous little mess here. Okay, let's see here. Let's pop this out. Oh, so cute. So I used some of the die and press. Oh, I thought that just said grateful how cute the 4 U's in there. I have Hello Autumn over here. Again, these are much more delicate, so I'm going to put those together. I'm going to pop them into a little bag like this, along with some of these leaves. So those are those. That's already 2 things, right? 3. But like I said, if you're going to count them each, I don't know if that would count each leaf. I'd probably count them as a group. A little sprig. Delicate. Where's that little guy? This little guy. I had another one. Obviously, I don't know where that one went. Did I already get it? Oh, it's up here. Okay, so we have those guys. Those are all super delicate, so I'm going to pop them in here. Again, I would count that as like 3 things, maybe 4, just depending. I'll probably leave it open too, just top. We tuck those in there. And all these papers, other than like this orange one, and this one's Anna Griffin, these are Spellbinders, that amazing mahogany and dune and all these colors they came out with that are so pretty. This is dune. I believe this is mahogany. I also brought out the purple one though. Did I use that? I thought that'd be really pretty, like really rich autumn colors, you know? Okay, there's that. So this, let's see. So here we have an envelope liner. So your recipient can put that in the envelope. These are tags that I cut from the die and press tag that I love so much. And then this one I ran through some wood grain, and this one I ran through a little quilt kind of colorway. What am I talking about? Texture. So maybe we put that back there. And maybe we put this over here. So again, let's say 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 things already. 7. Ooh, I thought the center cut out. What? That's crazy. I thought that line right there was like a cutout, but it's not. So it's just like a nice solid piece. And I cut it from this orange paper. It is from the Halloween paper from Anna Griffin, but I thought, you know what, for fall this would be really pretty too. So what do we say? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. This sticker pack is 8. I always like to include little pockets like this so the person can use 9 and 10, or you can count them as 1, 9, you know, since they're similar things. So that's really sweet. Again, I'm going to cut that down. I have so many more ideas of things I want to put in here. I just kind of want to give you a quick idea of the kinds of things that would work out really well. Oh, you know what? I want to grab some bows for sure. I'll be right back. So I have a few of these bows. These aren't the ones I was thinking of, but these are very pretty. So maybe a couple little Anna Griffin bows. Again, if you want to clip these on like with a paper clip in here, or, you know, I have twine that I want to share. So like there's just lots of things. You just have to remember to keep it so it doesn't get fatter than a 1/4 inch. So obviously these can collapse and that's not a big deal. So I can put a couple of those in there. And you know what, maybe I'll put my twine in here too. So let me grab that and I'll be right back. I'm leaving this a little bit loose. Like usually I put this like on a spool or something like that, but I really like both these colors, so I'm going to include both of them. And it can't be too much because again, we're looking at thickness here. But it just depends on how you package things, right? Everyone has lots of genius ways. You know, again, you can put on a little spool, like a flat spool. I've made my own spools on Cricut before, included them in other swaps. I just put like some basic shapes together to make it work. But whatever is you like. I don't know if I'm going to stick these two together, because then they have to take them apart. So I'm just going to wrap them around my finger a few times. Again, a good amount, but not super thick. And then this one, these are so pretty. I got these at the Dollar Tree, and this one's like a wine color, and this one's like a moss green. I think they have orange, and then they have like Halloween ones, but these are the ones I picked out more for fall. I have so many more ideas, guys. I think I'm going to go on Cricut and see if I can find like a cornucopia type thing, because I would love to include something like that for a die cut. So again, so we said there's about 3 in here, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 8, 9, however you want to count it, 10, 11, the bows, 12, this stuff. Again, you can just say 12, 13. If you count each item, that's up to you. But again, just, you know, be generous. And keeping in mind they need to be pretty flat. So I'll probably just leave that like that. So those guys. I also, like I said, want to go on my Cricut and find like cornucopia and some other few things that I have in mind. So I'm going to trim this down so it fits nicely. In the next video, I'll show you what I ended up with in here. I know I'm probably going to add more things, but I just want to show you what 15 things might look like. This is definitely already more than 15 things if you're counting each individual thing. But like I said, you want to be generous. I wouldn't cut 15 little leaves and be like, here you go, right? No, we want to have some fun and just show what you can do. You know, with the die cuts, if you want to have layered die cuts, again, I mean, you guys just blow my mind, the things you come up with. So it'll just be really fun and really sweet. I know a lot of you guys are super excited. So definitely my email's in the description box. I'll create my other folders today. And then tomorrow we'll follow up with a paperclip. And again, the paperclip looks something like what I showed you with the example from one of the past swaps. And have fun, guys. So I will do not send anything in unless you hear back from me, because I know some people already have my address, and that's great, but the P.O. Box, but do not send anything unless you hear back from me saying that you are signed up, okay? Yeah, okay, so I'll keep working. Guys, sorry for the rough edit. I was just taking pictures, and I went to, you know, do like I said what I was going to do, cut maybe a cornucopia or something like that on Cricut, and then I was working on something. I thought, you know what, you guys might want to see this. If you have a Cricut, Joy, or any machine, or if you're starting out, good luck. You know, it's not the easiest thing, but the only thing I find for cornucopia was really basic. So if I go to images and I'm like, Thanksgiving. Well, first I put cornucopia and it was only this one under free. So let's just pretend we don't know how to search for anything. Let's, I don't know. Basically, you click images, right, when you're on your canvas. So I clicked on images. Well, there I'm back. But if I click on images, and let's say I said cornucopia, and everything it's going to find, let's pretend this wasn't clicked on free. Let's just pretend it was like this. The other thing I'll tell you is I have it set to explore or set to the biggest machine you have. If you put Joy and there's something that normally would cut larger, it won't even come up in the search. So don't click on Joy, even if you have a Joy. Even if you're going to cut on the Joy, don't click Joy because it'll just say, nah, she can't cut those things, even though maybe you just want a mini size of whatever it is, right? So I always just click on like explore as far as the machine type. And so here, obviously these cost money and all that. Some cute things. If you want to buy them, you know, great. If you have access, great. I will not give Cricut any more money like that because I just don't want to. So I have tons of cartridges and they did all kinds of weird stuff that really upsets me as far as that. So I will not be doing that. But you can click on free, or you can click down here under ownership and click purchases or purchased. Basically meaning you already own it. Mine came up with a card that was like not great. So this is basically the one that's free and I can use it. Sometimes they have free, but you still have to sign into access, meaning you have to say, oh, I mean, basically, yeah, you have to, it doesn't make any sense. I'm like, why is it free, but also access? But you have to sign in, which for the 30-day trial or whatever, and then get, you know, it doesn't matter. So I clicked on this guy and as you can see, it's a single cut, right? Single layer, real boring. So let's just add it to the canvas anyway. So all I'm going to do is show you how I came up with this second layer. It's super easy. Just in case I figured something easy we can talk about quickly here. So I did resize it, and I just resized it by squeezing it down. But let's say that's what I want, 4.5 inch roughly. You can also just type in 4.5 inches up here, like in this size. But anyway, let's say it's this one. And so all I did was come over here and I clicked duplicate right over here. So I'm going to duplicate. And I'm sure there's other ways of doing this, but this is like super easy. Duplicate. And then down here, I'm going to click on contour. And I'm basically going to hide all the contours. Now you can click on each one individually. This means every cut it's going to make. As you can see, it's the light out, like the outline, and then all these darker gray ones. You can click, 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 which is really annoying. I love doing that though when I want to manipulate a different design and I just want some of the things gone, but some can stay. That's easy. But what you can do is just click hide all contours. And it'll hide everything except for the main one because like it needs to cut something, right? So that's it, hide all contours. I'll click the X and now I have this blackout shape. Now I'll show you how it's a blackout shape. Let's just leave that one black and let's make this one. I'm just clicking on it and I'm going to make it like tan color, peachy, whatever that is. So now if I bring this over, I'm going to move it to the front because that way if you right click, it'll highlight and say bring to front. And now if I put it on top of this other one, you have a perfect shadow. Now, of course, you can do offset, but offset's a different thing. So I do have this. I'm happy with that. 2 layers. I'm going to make this probably glitter paper and some kind of pretty background paper. But let's say you do want a little bit of a larger outline of this. If you just pull it, it's going to be all weird. Don't do that. So I would go to offset over here. And that's a really big offset, so I'm going to shrink that down. I like a little bit smaller offset. I mean, that's still quite a bit. You can see in the preview how much offset you're going to get, which basically means outline. I'm usually in the lower numbers here. I don't know. Let's do that one. Let's just say apply. And now we have the background piece that we had played with, but you also have the offset piece. So let me stack this up. So now you have a total shadow, like outline. That's really nice, not all warped and weird. That'll fit there. And then you also have this one. So now you just made 3 layers. Maybe you only want this one and the bigger outline. Now you have those 2 layers. Just a lot of fun ways to play with it whenever you have something boring, just like 1 layer, you know? So, all right, I hope that was fun. I'll see you guys at the next one. Again, sign up for the emails down there. And yeah, all right, bye now.